Several districts in Yerevan and other cities experienced power outage on Wednesday afternoon. Armenia's Deputy Prime Minister Tigran Avinyan informed about power outage and problems in the energy system. According to the statement of the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Infrastructures, there have been frequency shifts in the electric power system. During a press conference, Deputy Minister of Territorial Administration Hakob Vardanyan said the reason of blackout still remains unclear, but the electric power station is sustainable again. There are no frequency shifts, and the production capacities and supply of the electric power system are being restored, he said. One of the versions is that the powerful frequency shift is due to the accident in Iran's electric power system, which is linked to the Armenian one, he added. 6 people have been detained as a result of clashes between supporters of Armenia's second president Robert Kocharyan and police officers during the protest actions on Wednesday in Yerevan. Supporters of Armenia's second president Robert Kocharyan tried to close Tumanyan Street, where Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan's motorcade reportedly had to pass. Police officers took the protesters out of the street by force. Prior to this, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and President of the European Council Donald Tusk were passing by when the protesters were shouting, "Kocharyan is a hero" and "Do not be afraid of your people, Nikol." President of the European Council Donald Tusk has arrived in Yerevan. Within his visit, Tusk met with the Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. During a press statement for the media, Tusk reiterated the EU's support for Armenian reforms and said they had discussed the Karabakh conflict. The conflict does not have a military solution and needs a political settlement in accordance with international law and principles, Donald Tusk noted. The Prime Minister, in his turn, thanked the EU for its balanced position on the settlement of the Karabakh conflict. Tusk noted that the EU has almost doubled support in 2019 to implement priority projects, including infrastructure and environment. Tusk will also visit Lake Sevan, where the EU will support the water management. Delegates of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly encouraged the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to intensify dialogue. The final declaration adopted in Luxembourg welcomes the recent constructive dialogue between the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan. The declaration encourages the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to intensify the dialogue in the context of the mediation led by the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairmanship and to take specific and tangible measures to reach a peaceful solution to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Former head of the Armenian Investigative Committee Alvan Hovsepian was questioned in the framework of the March 1, 2008 events in Yerevan, Postinfo reported. Hovsepian was reportedly interrogated on July 3rd. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini has nominated Andrea Victorian as head of the EU delegation to Armenia. Victorian is currently head of the EU delegation to Belarus. The candidate will be formally appointed after receipt of the agreements. The House Rules Committee cleared the path for full House consideration of an amendment by Congresswoman Judy Chu on the deployment of gunfire locators, the addition of observers, and the non-deployment of snipers, heavy arms, and new weaponry along the Artsakh line of contact, ANCA reported. According to the source, the House Rules Committee also voted to allow full-floor consideration of an amendment spearheaded by Congressman Brad Sherman that would block the transfer of U.S. defense articles that strengthen Azerbaijan's offensive airstrike capabilities. ANCA also reported Wednesday that with U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar coming on board today, 4 of the top 6 senators seeking the Democratic presidential nomination have co-sponsored Senate Resolution 150, bipartisan legislation locking in permanent U.S. recognition and remembrance of the Armenian genocide.